So, hello and welcome to another episode of Keiara's Tech Adventures. Today we will be doing the Angular 2 tutorial of the Tour of Heroes. So if you go over to angular.io/tutorial, you come to this page which gives you a little introduction of the app that we're going to be building. So it's literally just a little dashboard, it's got your heroes on, you can search for heroes and it can display them. Okay, so if we go to the second step, obviously the first step is to install Angular, and before that you'll need npm and all of the good stuff, which if you go to my video before this, you'll find all the instructions on how to do it there, or you can do that in this getting started bit up here. So if you go to command prompt and you go ng new angular-tour-of-heroes, then it will make a new Angular app with the name of Angular-tour-of-heroes. Okay, blah blah blah. So I did have a bit of trouble quite recently. They have had an update and sometimes things like this can happen, but if you run this command here, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it very well. Can you make command prompt bigger? I'm not really sure, it's not really working at the moment, but it's basically npm space I space -d space at angular-devkit/core. You should be able to do that if you're having trouble with this next step, which is what I did. So basically we're going to do the command here, which is cd angular-tour-of-heroes, and that will take you to the folder which your app will be in. Then we do ng serve --open, which will start the web server, and the --open means it will open a web page with your web page in it. So if you're having trouble with that step, try that command that I just said before, and if that doesn't work, a bit more Googling will probably help you with that. So we have our app like we have last time, and well, there's the link to the Tour of Heroes thing, which we're going to be doing right now. So the next thing we're going to be doing is opening up the project in an editor. So what I've done is just I've went to File, Open Folder, and then I have selected the Angular Tour of Heroes folder right there and opened it up. So to see our project, obviously, as we went through in the last video, everything is in source and app that we can edit. So the next thing that the tutorial asks us to do is add a title property in app.component.ts. So if we go over to app.component.ts, we can see the title is currently app. So if we just put in Tour of Heroes, we save that, and then if we go over to our app.component.html, which is a template, a HTML template, and then we plug this in, we can just put it here. Nice. And then we can take this one out, and then we go back to our web page. There it says Tour of Heroes. So if we go back to the tutorial and then we scroll down a bit, we see it says add application styles. So we're going to be adding CSS into our styles.css file. So if we go over to our styles.css file, which isn't in app, it's in source, and then we just put this in, then I'm not sure if it updates any styles as of now, but yes, it does. So there you go, you can see our title is now in blue. So if you're not sure that you've done everything on this page right, at the very bottom of this page, it has what your app.component.ts file should be, your HTML file and CSS file. Now we haven't erased everything, so if we just go ahead and erase everything on our HTML file, so it's only the title. There you go, and then just delete that all the way up to there and save it. We can see it will just be the title on our page now. So if we go to the next step, the hero editor, so this is a command that we are going to need to run in our command line. So if if we just stop the web server, you could do this by pressing Control-C a couple of times and then just terminate it. Oh, what am I doing? I need to copy paste. Okay, paste isn't working, so I just go on ng generate component heroes, and that will make a new component called heroes. So we should be able to see our new folder. Here it is, and it has our new component, a new template file for our HTML, and another CSS file for it all. So if we go down a bit more, it does explain a bit more about these sort of properties in the file. Obviously, take a good look at that because it does explain a bit more, and I probably won't be able to explain it as well as it does right there, so you might as well read it there. But the next thing we need to do is create a new hero property and then set it to Windstorm. So we're just going to add it straight into here. The next thing we need to do is go to our HTML file and put in hero in double angle brackets, curly braces, double curly braces. So if we get rid of that and just put that there, save that file and go over to here. Oh no, we won't be able to see anything yet because we haven't displayed the heroes component. So we need to add it back to our app component, which is currently shown on the page. So what we're going to do is put this into our app component, HTML. Oops. And then if we go back, we will need to, before we see it again, obviously, I keep forgetting that the web server isn't running anymore. We need to save it again so that we can see it. Right, so now we've got our first hero there, Windstorm, and then if we go back, then the next thing we're going to be doing is making a hero class. So, sorry about my webcam, I did not notice the light, I've fixed that now. So what we're going to be doing now is making a new file called hero.ts, and we're going to be putting this in it. So I'm going to be making a new class. So if we go here, we make a new file called hero.ts, just put this in there, save it, then we go back to our component. What we're going to be doing now is importing our class that we just made. So we can put that in there. We might as well just copy paste all of this. And we're going to be using the hero class here. We're going to give it an ID, and we're also going to give it the name that we did before. So we just select all of this, paste that in there. Then we go back. This is the one, isn't it? Yes. So we can see now it's an object because the hero that we display in our component is just the object itself. We don't actually display the name. So what we're going to be doing now is showing the different parts of the hero. So if we update our HTML to not just be the object anymore, to be the name property, the ID property, and then the name again. So we save that and we should see, there we go, we can see the ID, there's the name there, and then there's the name again. So the next thing we're going to be doing is putting the hero's name to uppercase. So the way that you can format data displayed in Angular is by doing this pipe, and there's a number of different things that you can do to do with numbers, decimals, percentages, I think, uppercase, lowercase. There's documentation that you can see to see all of the different ones. So if we just paste that in there, put details twice and put H2 twice. Okay, and we just save that. We should see the name in uppercase. So the next thing we're going to do is allow the user to edit the name. So if we just add this into our HTML file, And you can see here, this ng model is bound to the hero.name property. Now these angle brackets mean that it's a two-way binding. I'm not sure if you need these brackets for one-way binding as well, but yeah. So this means that when it's updated from the server side, it will also get updated here, and it also means when it gets updated by the user here, it will update on the server side as well. That's what two-way binding means. So we will now get an error if we go to here and we go inspect. We go to the console, and here we see can't bind to ng model, which is the same as what's here. So we haven't imported forms module which has ng module in it. So if we just put that into our app.module.ts, which is here, and then we put that here, we save that, and then we also need to update our app.module.ts, which has our imports in, which is app.module.ts. That's not module. What am I doing? Where is module? Do we need to make one? Ah, okay, I was just being an idiot. So if we just import that here, okay. Now we go back to our app, and here we go. We have our input, sorry. So we can see that when we change the name, it changes on all of the other places where the name is used. So the next thing we need to do is add in this heroes component to our app module ts file. If we go, oh, we're already on it. Oh, it is already here. So we need to make sure that it is also there, and it is. So this makes sure that obviously everything is imported in the right places, so everything knows about everything else that it needs to use. But I think when we used ng generate component, it automatically did this for us. So if you're again, does the final code review at the bottom, which shows you what your files should look like before going on to the next step.